Hey ladies, welcome to episode 11, which is kind of feeling a little like episode 1 because we have a new podcast name, Health, Life, and More for Women podcast with me. All right, but in this episode, whether it's 11 or number 1, however we want to look at it, I want to dive into the first thing in this podcast name, which is your health. I want to talk about the top 5 mistakes you are making with your health. So let's go. Welcome to the Health, Life, and More for Women podcast with certified health and life coach, mom of 4, and just all-around lover of all things 80s, your host, Jennifer D'Amato. Buckle in, let's get started. Hey ladies, like I said, we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes you're making with your health. Now, you might be thinking, Jen, where did you come up with this list? Can I just be real? I came up with this list because I was making all of these mistakes. Yes, every single one of them is coming from my personal experience. Now, I do take this somewhere else because I am a certified health and life coach, and I work with my clients to correct these mistakes. However, again, I have to tell you, I made all of them. So don't stress, don't worry. Oh my goodness, I'm doing all of these, I'm doing some of these. Oh, I'll never get there. Let me tell you, I got there. I didn't even know I was making the mistakes until my coach, yes, I hired a coach years ago. My coach helped me understand that these mistakes were the things that were keeping me stuck. I wasn't able to lose weight. I was tired all the time. I generally felt like crap, moody. Oh my goodness. It changed my life understanding the mistakes I was making. Now, you could actually argue there's more than 5. There's probably more than 5 that you're making. I know there was more than 5 I was making. However, I thought for time's sake, and we have to kind of keep this general, right? That I'm going to limit it to the top 5. Now, if you're wondering, like, am I making other mistakes? What else am I doing? Like, I'm seeing that, gosh, I am definitely struggling in one or more or all 5 of these areas, but I think there's more. That's why you do what I did and you hire a coach. Now, of course, I would love to be your coach, but I might not be the right fit for you. I would just encourage you to explore the idea of doing that. And we'll talk about that more later, but let's dive into the top 5 mistakes that you're making with your health. I thought it would be fun to do it with like a countdown format, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to start with mistake number 5. Girlfriend, you are not drinking enough water. That is definitely the number 5 mistake I see. I will tell you, okay, I worked out pretty regularly. And when I started working with my coach, guys, I was drinking 20 ounces of water. I know, that's so much water. No, it's not. No, it's not. I wasn't actually having any weight loss because I hired a coach specifically for weight loss. Okay. I got workouts as a bonus, learned about nutrition, all of that. But I hired the coach specifically to lose weight because I felt like crap, hated my body. And I was working out already. I was drinking 20 ounces of water. Oh my goodness. I was like, that's so much water. Guys, it was not enough water. It was not enough water, first of all, just to maintain hydration on a daily basis, let alone the summer heat. So when I started working with my coach, it was March. So I live in Arizona, if you don't know that, and it's already warm in March. And of course, heading into the summer months, it's not like hot. It's like, how do I put this? Like burning inferno hot. And I definitely wasn't drinking enough water. I just wasn't. I was also working out, so I'm sweating. Sweating a lot and still not drinking enough water. 20 ounces was not enough. It felt like a lot. It felt like more than a glass. Okay, my coach was like, you should be drinking more water. The starting point, and I always say that, it's a starting point, is half your body weight in fluid ounces. Now, some people stop there and think, oh, that's enough water. It's still probably not enough water if You live in a warm climate, first of all. If anyone out there lives somewhere warm or even humid, you need more than half your body weight in fluid ounces. If you do any type of exercise, any at all, maybe you go on daily walks, you need more than half your body weight in fluid ounces. I will tell you, I really felt like, at least a couple months in with my coach, I had everything on point except the water, and I wasn't losing weight. I really was. I was doing all the things right, and I wasn't losing weight until I changed my water intake. Now, at the time for me, I wanted to get to that half gallon. It was work to get there. And now I'll tell you, I drink a gallon of water pretty much on a regular basis. If I don't work out on a Sunday, I generally won't drink that much because my body just doesn't need it. I'm not sweating extra. I'm not doing much. My body adjusts to about 70 to 80 fluid ounces. However, my regular intake is a gallon. So for you, the first step is actually tracking for a couple of days, at least 2. How much water are you drinking? Every single client I have always tells me at the beginning, oh, I drink a ton of water. I'm so good. Great. Track it for a couple days. Send me what it is, and we'll make any adjustments if we have to. Inevitably, every single time, they acknowledge, oh my goodness, I thought I was drinking a lot of water and I'm not even hitting half my body weight in fluid ounces. So the first step is to track. The second is to make a plan to increase by 8 fluid ounces every other day to get at least to the half your body weight in fluid ounces. And then from there, I would love to challenge you. Set a timer in your phone. There's some great apps out there for tracking water to increase each few days another 8 fluid ounces till you get closer to that half gallon, that gallon mark. And I just want you to observe how you feel. Yes, you have to go pee. I get that question all the time, but don't you have to pee a lot? Okay, so I'll take going pee a lot and feeling amazing than not having to pee as much and still feeling overweight, tired, like crap, sore, all of that. I mean, really think about that. Which would you rather have? Oh my goodness. Ladies, this is so good. I'm giving such content here, and we're only on mistake 5. Are you ready to dive into mistake 4? Okay. Mistake 4 is, again, something I was doing, totally guilty of, is we're not moving our bodies enough, and we're not moving our bodies in a way that we enjoy. Okay, so little story time here. My husband was born with a hip disorder. Leg perthes is what it's called. However, with a really bad, arthritic, horrible, limp hip, he ran a half marathon. And I was like, yo, if you can do that, I so am going to bucket list that one. And so I did that. Like, I got a training plan. Now, this is all before I had a coach. Was really overweight. Actually, training for the half marathon, I probably gained the most weight without having a baby in my belly because all I was doing was running and eating and running and eating. Well, anyway, so I trained for a half marathon, had 2 injuries in the training process, still did it, was very proud of myself, like getting that medal, just yay, except I freaking hated it. Yes, that is right. I hated the entire process. Do you want to know why I hated it? Because I freaking hate running. I can do it. I'm actually pretty decent at it. If I really focus on it, I can get under a 10-minute mile, which to me is amazing because I started at over 11-minute mile. However, I hate it. I don't want to run. I never want to run. Unless someone's chasing me at this point, I'm not running. Except I did it because I believed like that was what I had to do. Yes, I had this bucket list. My husband's amazing. So if he can do it, I so want to do that. And I was miserable. I had no idea that I would love, get up at 4 a.m. every day kind of level of love, heavy lifting. I'm talking, I hit a 220-pound deadlift. Oh, yes. Y'all, I'm 5'1" on a good day, not very, muscular, except 220-pound deadlift. I was at my absolute happiest lifting heavy. Here's the thing, if you enjoy movement, so you find the thing that you love. I have a client who loves kickboxing. Not my cup of tea, but dang, she increased from going a few days a week to hitting it like 5 or 6 days a week because she found something she enjoys. I have a friend who is like the yogi of all yogis. And now I enjoy yoga, but not to her level. She enjoys it so much, she will show up day after day after day. The key with moving your body more, which we need to be doing, is finding something you enjoy. So the mistake we're making is, yes, we're not moving our bodies enough consistently. But the reason I believe we're making this mistake here is because we're not doing movement we actually enjoy. Now, I've had older clients, and the movement they enjoy is walking back and forth in a pool. They enjoy it because their knees are sore, they're overweight, they don't have a lot of energy to start. So that's something they can enjoy. Like, they can get in that pool, move their body in a way that it doesn't hurt and ache and have pain. That's wonderful. I mean, if you enjoy swimming, then you should be swimming more often. If you enjoy hiking, if that's like the thing that lights your heart up and you're like, oh yeah, I'd show up for a hike 3 days a week, no problem, then that's what you should be devoting your energy to. Don't do what I did, and maybe you are doing it already, is do something because someone else is doing it, or you think, well, that's the quickest way to weight loss. I did believe that about running, and as I told you, it was the thing that had the most weight on my body, along with some injuries. I mean, I was totally making this mistake. And when I shifted my focus to start exploring, yes, exploring different types of movement, what I landed on for me was lifting, and lifting heavy. Like, oh my goodness, you can only do maybe 2 or 3 of this exercise because it was so heavy. Now, I've scaled back a little bit. I still lift all the time because I just find joy in it. However, I'm not lifting as heavy because, this body's getting a little older and I'm just protecting my sciatic nerve, which seems to get aggravated if I go too heavy. However, if I hadn't taken the time to explore, I know I wouldn't have discovered that this was the kind of movement my body needed. So don't make that mistake. How are these mistakes resonating with you so far? Are you like finding yourself nodding along or at least feeling challenged? I really hope so. I'm about to do something here with mistake number 3 that is going to upset some people. Oh, I know it. It might even upset you. Here's the thing. If you have lived in diet culture, if you have done any diet, I'm talking anything from counting your points on Weight Watchers to maybe you've had a coach who has really restricted the number of calories that you have. You've tried even a version of paleo or keto, anything that has either eliminated food groups, slashed calories, counted points, tracked everything. This mistake may upset you. I'm just going to give you the forewarning. Mistake number 3 that we are making is we're not eating enough. I said it. I said it. I know diet culture tells you eat less to lose weight, eat less to lose weight. And unfortunately, that is like this big blanket statement that really isn't true when you break it down. For me, I was doing the diet thing. I ate less food, but I wasn't really eating the right things. I ate less food and worked out. I ate less food, and then I ate less food, and then I ate less food, and then I ate all the food, and then I ate all the food, and then I ate all the food. Does that sound familiar? Where I'm not going to eat this goodie over here. I'm not going to have this food. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. And then after maybe days, maybe you've made it weeks. Maybe you've made it months. I have talked to people who have made it years with such levels of restriction, and then their body and brain hit a threshold and go, stop it. You need to eat, and you eat all of it. You guys have probably heard those stories, right? Of even that dramatic weight loss. What was that TV show called where they're contestants, right? It was on NBC, and they had extreme weight loss. They were working with trainers, which we did not see everything going on. High restriction, high restriction. And then if you've ever watched a Where Are They Now? They've gained, if not all, the weight back. Some of them have gained even more. This is what happens in diet culture. We're not eating enough. We're not eating enough for our brain, for our organs. We're not eating enough for exercise. We are restricting ourselves, therefore turning into almost this overeating or binge-like behavior. I know I wasn't eating enough. And I definitely wasn't eating the right things. I know that now, but I thought if I just restricted everything I was eating, I would lose weight. Do you know the opposite was true? Because it's this fact I'm telling you. You can do it for so long, and everyone has a different threshold. But once you hit what your threshold is, you eat all the things. And then, of course, if you combine it with being miserable during moving my body, not drinking enough water, not sleeping well, high levels of stress, you can see it was a recipe for disaster. So this third mistake, I really feel like this is such an important one to talk about, is that maybe you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough of the right things. Maybe you're not getting enough protein. Maybe you don't have enough fiber. Maybe you've restricted an entire food group. I know, I've heard it all. Carbs are evil, right? Y'all, maybe you are restricting something that your body actually is craving. So what happens is, and I hear it all the time, oh, I don't eat carbs. Oh, I don't eat carbs. Oh, I don't eat carbs. And then I eat all the carbs. I believe in balance. I believe our body has a need for all the macro and micronutrients that exist. Okay, the third mistake you're making is that you're not eating enough. And you're probably not eating enough of the right things. Hey ladies, before we jump into the last two mistakes, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. I believe in paying it forward. And if you know a sweet other lady in your life that would just love this podcast as well, would you go ahead and just share it with her? Tell her you love her. Tell her you know that there's some great things here that she might need to hear too. Thanks so much for being here. Let's continue with our top 5 mistakes we're making in our health. All right, we have made it to mistake number 2. And I have to tell you, I debated on this one for a long time. I told you at the beginning, there's more than 5 mistakes that we're making. It's just the way it is. And I was making so many that it was hard to decide on the top 5. And this one I struggled with. But let me tell you that the second biggest mistake that we're making with our health ladies is we are ignoring our stress levels. You're like, Jen, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about like our weight and working out and what we eat. I am. And here's one of the biggest mistakes is we're doing all these things so often and ignoring our stress level. So what I find is it's not necessarily the big life events that cause us the most stress. Really, the stress that's affecting our health, the stress that's affecting our weight, the stress that's affecting our sleep, the stress that's affecting us every single day is this chronic low-level stress that we might not be at a 10. I've had some serious 10-level stresses in my life. However, it's not that. It's I'm at a 5 or a 6 all day, every day for my stress. That I'm just always low-level stressed. I never feel de-stressed or unstressed. I'm always somewhat stressed. This will keep the cortisol levels up. This will keep the weight on. This will make everything more difficult for you. So if we're talking about health, if we're talking about weight loss, if we're talking about feeling and looking and living our best life, we have to address the fact that we're always stressed. And we have to find ways to reduce stress. I teach some very tangible, some very practical, some very free, easy things to my clients they can do everywhere to de-stress. But I would encourage you right now just to survey your day. Just survey what's going on and what is your stress during the day. If you answer, well, I vary anywhere from a 3 to a 6 all day. Maybe I never hit an 8 to a 10, but I'm never at a 0. I'm never at a 1. Then notice what happens to your food choices. What happens to that moment when you have to decide when to go to bed? What happens when you get to the place of, do I want to work out or not? What happens when you're living that chronic low-level stress? Notice that it very potentially is affecting so many areas of your life. We have to find ways to de-stress on a daily basis so that we can step into the best version of who we are. All right, ladies, we have made it to the number one mistake we're making with our health. So let's quick review. Number 5, you're not drinking enough water. You need to be drinking at a minimum half your body weight in fluid ounces. Number 4, you need to be moving your body more and moving it in a way that you enjoy. Okay, mistake number 3 is you're probably not eating enough and very potentially not eating enough of the foods that your body needs. Number 2, we just said, is we're ignoring our stress levels. And the number 1 mistake that we're making with our health. Are you ready? I feel like we should have a drum roll. Oh yeah, that's my kind of drumming. All right, the number 1 mistake that we're making with our health is that we believe we have to do it alone. It's just the biggest mistake we can make. And again, as I said from the beginning, these mistakes come from my mistakes I made. For years, I kept trying to figure this thing out, figure out how to live into my best life, have the best health. And I was doing it all by myself. It wasn't until our dear friend introduced me to a coach. I literally had my entire life change because of that one decision. And it really wasn't just the decision, it was a complete mindset shift. I don't have to figure this out alone. I actually don't know anything that I need to do, so I need an expert. I need someone who knows what they're doing. And the coach I hired, man, it changed my life. Yes, I lost weight. Yes, I learned about nutrition. Yes, I started drinking more water. I started reducing my stress. I started feeling like me again. I hit the goals that I set out, but I wasn't doing it alone. Here's the thing, you don't have to do it alone, sister. You don't have to do it alone anymore. Now, again, I'd love it to be me. We'd probably work so well together. I mean, if you're listening and you've been coming back and listening to every single episode, it's probably because you get me and you know that I get you. But here's the thing, I may not be the coach you need right now, and that's okay. What I want you to do is look into the idea of shifting your mindset that you don't have to do it alone, that hiring a coach, working with a coach one-on-one, hand in hand, could be the thing that changes everything for you, just like it did for me. You know, I really did have to set some pride aside. I thought I should know better. I was in my 30s, like I should know what to eat. I should know that exercise is good for me. And I figured out I had to learn so much more than that. I had to actually get into the thoughts I was having. I learned so much that the thoughts I was having was dictating every single action I had when it came to my health. I knew that for every other area of my life, and yet I could not figure it out when it came to my health. Hiring a coach was seriously the best decision I made because it was the number 1, the biggest mistake I was making for my health was thinking I had to do it alone. Now, maybe it is me. Maybe you're like, okay, I think I want to work with Jen. If you go into the show notes, there's a direct link to book a free consultation with me to discuss where you are. What's going on in your health right now? What mistakes are you making? And where do you want to be? Like, let's dream big for your health. I want you to reach those goals. So go ahead in the show notes, you can click that link to book a free consultation, and we can start on your best health journey right away. I have to tell you, this episode has been so much fun to put together for you. I mean, honestly, I could probably sit here and talk even further because, like I said, there's so many mistakes I made and I could share all of them with you, but you'd be listening to this podcast for some time. So these are the top 5 mistakes that maybe you're making in your health. I certainly know I was making them in mine. I really enjoyed today. Until next time, ladies. Hey, ladies, want to connect with me outside of this podcast? Come follow along on Instagram at Jennifer_health coach for life. That's Jennifer_health coach, the number 4 life. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search Jennifer Coach, the number 4 life. I also want to help you take your health, both physical and mental, to the next level. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to reclaim your body's intuition. If that's for you and you're ready for support and accountability like you've never had before, then why not book a free consultation with me by visiting my website, www.healthcoachforlife.com. That's www.healthcoach4life.com/request session. I've also made it really easy by including a link in the show notes below. For any questions about the podcast or to submit a question or topic you would like discussed here, you can email me at jenniferdamatopodcast@gmail.com.